Thanks very much. Hello there. My name is Andy Hanselman. I'm conscious when I start these things off, people asking, who on earth is Andy Hanselman? Well, I like to get the bad news out of the way straight away. I'm a management consultant. But actually, I help businesses, their leaders, their people, create competitive advantage by what we call thinking in 3D. It's all about being dramatically and demonstrably different. I work around the world, training, consulting, speaking, and writing. And I've even written a book all about these things. But let's get cracking with what we want to talk about today. Are you up against any of these things? Are your clients' expectations getting higher? Do you actually find the number of competitors increasing you in ever-crowded markets and client loyalty decreasing? I think we're also in a much more transparent world where people can find out much more about you and your competitors at the touch of a button. But you're not alone. These are the challenges that lots and lots of businesses are up against. One, we're in a very transparent world. 81% of people search online first before they actually buy something. And it's quite interesting, this very transparent world. TripAdvisor, I'm yet to go on the website of a hotel that says we offer a fantastic customer experience apart from Tuesdays and Thursdays when Kevin the manager isn't in. We might say great things, but our customers are saying. The research also suggests, challenge 2, is that customers don't believe the hype. 79% of us don't believe that companies tell the truth in advertisements. Challenge 3, client expectations are getting higher. According to Henley Business School, 75% of customers think that customer service levels are at an all-time low. I'm not sure they are. I think expectations have actually got higher. And one of the things we're actually seeing is that businesses are having to fight much harder to actually win the loyalty of their customers. In fact, quite interesting when you start looking at this, 90% of UK business leaders think that customers are more demanding than they were 5 years ago. It's worth pointing out there are some customers, no matter what you do, you will never actually satisfy them. Just some things I read recently, these are quotes, genuine feedback quotes from people who've been on Thompson holidays. Try and look after these customers. The beach was too sandy. No one told us that we're fish in the sea. Our children were startled. I think you should be explaining the brochure at the local store does not sell proper biscuits like custard creams or ginger nuts. It's lazy of local shopkeepers to close in the afternoons. I often want to buy things in siesta time. It should be banned. So one of the things maybe to look at is, are you focused on the right customers? Because no matter what you do, you will never actually look after these customers effectively. Promiscuity is rife. 60% of us have stopped doing business with a company due to one single incident of poor customer service. Challenge 5, customers do want engagement, but they want it in the way that works for them. Lots of different channels of doing it now. And 87% of people actually do want to be proactively communicated in the way that works for them by suppliers. And 6, word of mouth and word of mouse is increasing. News spreads much, much, much quicker these days. What does it all mean? Well, the spotlight is on you and all your people all of the time. So we need a different approach, a dramatically and demonstrably different approach. And that's all about thinking in 3D. And here are 3 ideas to help you do that. You'll actually see there's a link to the website. We'll give you a link to my website. It's actually got an assessment tool you can download to see how you measure up against these things. What will also help you do is give you some other extra resources you actually find that you can use to make this stuff work for you in your business. So let's get cracking with these ideas. And idea 1 is be easy to deal with and to buy from. 3D businesses make it easy for their customers to deal with them. Might seem obvious, but we actually see lots and lots of businesses struggle with it. Then about you, whenever I go to electrical retailers, I always get the Saturday boy. Remember, a number of years ago, wanting to buy a DVD recorder. I'd done the research, found out all about them, money in my pocket to spend and go and actually buy one. I went in. As I walked into the store, on the left was a rack of DVD recorders. Fantastic. But the price difference was absolutely amazing. I obviously looked a little bit confused. A fresh-faced young lad comes up to me and says, "Good afternoon, sir. How can I help you?" Just as it said in the customer care manual of this particular business. As I'm looking at these DVD recorders, 750 quid, 100 quid. I said, "What's the difference between the two?" He said, "About 650 quid. And then started reading all the little red cards. I don't want them to read little red cards. I want them to help me. And he is what we call the sales prevention officer. I'm not blaming him. I'm not having a go at him. I honestly think he was trying his hardest. And what we actually see in lots and lots of businesses, sales prevention officers exist. For example, I was once going up to a conference in Bradford, and I'd not been to the hotel before. Went on the website, found their website, the Google Maps, how to find us. And the Google Maps was Barcelona. Now, I don't know if you've been to Bradford or to Barcelona. There are subtle differences. I managed to find my way to it. Went into the car park, parked up, went in. The guy in reception said, "Have you a good trip, sir?" I said, yeah, but you need to know on your Google Maps, it's Barcelona. He goes, there's a few told us that. Again, I'm not blaming him, but here's a business that knows it's got blockages to giving a great customer experience and is doing nothing about them. I actually remember a financial advisor, coming to see me some years ago. And he spent 2 or 3 hours exploring what I was about, how he could help me. And I'm going to go away and produce a report. The report came through a week later. I opened up the envelope, and the letter accompanied said, "Dear Sir or Madam." Now, it might have been wearing the skirt I was wearing on the day that confused him, I don't know. But Andy would have worked. While I'm at that, "Dear valued customer, if I'm really that valued, how come you don't know my name? Or your call is important to us. Well, if it's that important, please, please, please pick up the phone and talk to me." And what we actually see in lots of businesses, and your businesses, there are 4 common causes for sales prevention officers. It's the systems and processes. Do they actually help your customers? Sometimes it's attitudes. Do you actually allow people to get away with this stuff? Policies. I actually once went to a law firm in Birmingham looking to do some client care work, turned up at their offices. The car parking sign on the outside of the building said parking for partners and managers only. Clients, do one. And there's one other cause. It could be you. You ever done this? Someone says to so-and-so on the phone, "Tell them I'm not in." Promise to get back to a client by a certain time and not done it. We actually find that lots and lots of these things exist. So who, what and where are your sales prevention officers? Have a look. But before you do that, just watch this video.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Go!
Did you see them? Most of us don't. In fact, the whole idea of the moonwalking bear, I get paid to go into companies to point out the moonwalking bear. The bad news when I've got to give the bad news to the person who's paying the bill, that he or she is the problem. But some things you might want to do to try and actually find out who, what and where are your sales prevention officers. Stand in your own queues. There's a toolkit I've prepared that actually allows you to work your way through the whole client journey and work out what's going wrong. Maybe you could do it. Why not give it somebody else in your team or somebody else in your business to have a go and actually find out where the blockages and barriers are. Just ring up your own business. Great little exercise we encourage people to do is ring up your own business and ask for yourself. Just see what happens. Ask your frontline staff, what do they think? And maybe a really crucial thing to do, ask your clients, what are the things that irritate or annoy them? What are the things that stop them getting the client service they deserve from you? That leads us on to idea 2. Idea 2 is to delight your clients. And I'm always conscious when I say the word client delight, people think, oh no, he's been to Disneyland for his holidays. It's one of those seminars. This is not have a nice day. It's not buy one, get 10 free. It's about surprising clients with the level of service you provide. If I could just stress it, surprising them in a positive way. It's getting them to go, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So this is not the McDonaldization of your business. I don't know if it's true, but it was told me by a client recently, and I hope it is. At the University of Hamburgerology, where McDonald's do all their training in Chicago, Illinois. Apparently they're experimenting there. Rather than actually say, have a nice day, they're actually saying, missing you already. I'm not knocking them. I used to live and work in San Diego, California, and I was very, very lucky. Every morning, I used to walk down to my building site. And at 7 o'clock in the morning in San Diego, the sun is always shining. The sky is always blue. There are beautiful white, frothy waves crashing onto the golden sands. A bit like being at Cleethorpes. And overlooking Pacific Beach was a McDonald's. And I used to walk in there and actually be greeted by the cast from Baywatch. These stunning Californian blondes, these hunky guys. Hi, Andy, how are you this morning? I get my sausage egg McMuffin and my decaffeinated coffee. They say, you have a great day now. And it set me up for the day. It was fantastic. When I go to McDonald's in Sheffield, And this kid goes, enjoy your meal, pal, and shoves this thing at me. You learn very quickly. What works in California ain't going to work in Sheffield. What works in McDonald's isn't going to work in your business. You've got to work out what client delight looks like for you and for your clients, importantly. Very simple example. I went to a client of mine in Leicestershire, had done some client care training there. Turned up 6 months on to be greeted with a little sign on the door saying, welcome, Andy Hanselman. Went in. Andrea, the office junior, a 17-year-old, she goes, hi, Andy, how you doing? Had a good trip from Sheffield? I said, yeah, I have. She goes, good to see you here. John, with a couple of minutes, can you hang on? I said, yeah, of course I can. She goes, like a cup of coffee while you're waiting? I said, yeah, that'd be great. She goes, it's black, no sugar, isn't it? I said, how do you know that? She goes, it's my job to know. And that's what she'd taken from the training. This whole idea of actually exceeding expectations. There's a little client index system on a desk where she writes down little details about her clients. And what to me that demonstrates the 6 key ingredients of client delight. First of all, it produces a wow reaction. It appears spontaneous or unexpected. You can actually plan spontaneity. It's the personal touch. It makes clients feel valued. It's genuine, and it creates a talking point. How can you make that work for your clients? Here are some ideas. Nothing to do with your business. Sometimes they're way out there to get you thinking dramatically and demonstrably differently. But one of the things for me is I actually did take my mum to see her financial advisor. There's a car parking space reserved for her. She thought that was fantastic. Why not send people little updates? And I don't just mean your newsletter, but I suddenly thought of you. It could be case studies, examples, things that are actually personal to them. Simple things like birthday cards. I did it with a client recently, estate agents. Moving house card. Just people got a new job. Little things that actually personalise the experience. And this is not about being fake. It's got to be genuine. Client of ours here in Sheffield, they're an IT business, very different business to you. Their database tells all the staff how long a client has been with them. So they can actually say, you've now been a client of ours for 12 months. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. It never fails to amaze me how many businesses have standard letters that come to our records. You're 30 days overdue, 60 days overdue, 90 days overdue. How about a letter that says, thank you very much for paying us on time. We really appreciate it. I did some work with a law firm where I spoke at their conference and they very, very nicely paid us within 10 working days. And we sent a little letter. And even better for me, they actually asked me to come back and do some more work with them. And I was doing some work in their offices on client care. And these 2 guys came up to me after a session and said, thank you very much. I said, no problem. I said, no problem. We work in the accounts department. And that letter he sent to the managing partner, he came down and said, well done, guys. It's the first time he's talked to us in 5 years. He said, anyway, have you done your invoice for this lot? I said, well, I've not finished yet. He says, you know what it's going to be. Get it sorted. And I was still at that business the next day, and he walked past the training room and says, I've got your invoice. On the Monday morning, I walked into my office, and there was the check. Tuesday, I actually got a call from the accounts department, have you got your check? There aren't many accounts departments, in my experience, ring up to check you've been paid. This also shows that you can actually delight finance people as well as normal. No, I mean, you can do it anywhere in the client journey. Some very simple things, again, to personalise the experience. A great website we use called Vidyard. And Vidyard actually allows you to do personalised videos. You accompany your proposal, your quote with it, explaining what's going on. It really helps demonstrate your personality. And while we're on that one, please don't write off the old-fashioned ways. Handwritten, personalised notes, letters, they work. Now, these things aren't going to change the world. What they are going to do is just help you demonstrate to your clients that you actually care about them. So how could you get this stuff working for you? Well, one of the ways to do this is just to complete this sentence. Sit down and think about this. If your clients were to say, yes, they dealt with professionally, but what completely blew me away was, what would that be? Get your team involved, get them thinking about ideas, and find out what you can do. And one of the things you might also want to do is just find an excuse, a reason, a purpose to delight one of your clients this week. There's a challenge for you. The slight downside of this is that by definition, you are now exceeding your clients' expectations. Their expectations are getting higher. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. What it means you've got to do is actually go on to idea 3, which is about moving from delighted to devoted clients. And as consultants, we have a little 2x2 grid here. Look at this and see what you think. I could have had low, no expectations if you had a bad experience with somebody in the mortgage business before. I give you a call, you can't be any worse. I have low expectations, but I get a great experience. I am delighted. By definition, I come back now for more with higher expectations and a great experience. Your challenge is to consistently give me that great experience that creates devoted clients. Sometimes things go wrong. They become disappointed. Have you ever actually had an issue where you've dealt with a client, he's not very happy, she's not very happy, but the way you've sorted their problem, you can get them back into that devoted one? In fact, I would even suggest that one of the measures of the strengths of relationships you've got with your clients is how big a cock-up can you make and still keep them. Please don't take that as the key learning lessons from this particular session. If you don't deal with them, they become disaffected. So how can we create devoted clients? Well, spot and deal with disappointment. What mechanisms have you got to find out what your clients think? At the end of our training sessions, we used to ask the question, did the training not meet or exceed your expectations? I did some work for a client that had 6 months of training with the training providers. I was brought into the last day, and this guy filled in the box. It exceeded my expectations. Why? Because it wasn't as crap as all the training courses have been on the last 6 months. To be fair, he was actually quite happy with it when we talked to him. But his expectations weren't very high. I had somebody else came to one of my sessions, I probably shouldn't tell you this. He ticked the box, it met my expectations. I thought it was going to be a waste of time, and it was. But rather than get people to score you out of 10 or ask those questions, I think a great question to ask your clients is this. Are you completely happy with what we're doing? Yes or no? Why not? Are you completely happy? Tough question to ask, but I'd encourage you to actually work on that. Get everybody on board to actually do this, to actually make them part of the client journey. And that is this whole idea of empowering them for delight. Empower them, train them, enable them, support them. Timpsons, the cobblers, again, very different business to you. Every member of staff at Timpsons is actually empowered to spend up to £500 to solve a customer's problem on the spot. That's empowerment. And the last story on this one, Ritz-Carlton hotels. Every member of staff at Ritz-Carlton is empowered to actually spend up to $2,000 to actually delight a customer to solve a problem. Great story of a guy called Chris Hearn staying at the Florida West Keys Hotel with his family for a week. Comes home to be told the tragic news by his 5-year-old son that he's left with best mate, Joshy the giraffe, back at the hotel. For those that have got 5-year-olds, you know the world has now come to an end. He's not having his tea, he's not going to bed, he's not going to school in the morning. Chris told his son a bit of a white lie. He said Joshy's having a couple of extra days holiday. That got him to bed and see if they could find a replacement. He didn't need to. He got a call that evening. Excuse me, have you lost a giraffe? He went, yeah. It's the laundry team here at the hotel. We've actually found him. He's on his way to you. He said, I don't know if you could help me. I told my son a bit of a white lie. Is there any way you could actually take a picture of Joshy on holiday? No problem at all, sir. 2 days later, Joshy arrived in this little package with some Ritz-Carlton goodies, and in it was a beautifully bound photo album with a picture of Joshy sunbathing, a picture of Joshy having a massage, driving down to the beach, chilling with his mates. That's what this stuff is all about. I'm not suggesting all you need to do is start sending photographs of your clients' kids' toys. You've got to work out what this means for you. So some conclusions. People buy from people they like and trust. That means 1, be easy to deal with and buy from. 2, find ways to delight them. And 3, exceed their expectations and do it consistently to create devoted clients. It's about clients, not sales. What are you going to do to actually maximize the opportunity to gain and keep your clients and create delighted and devoted clients? What is it you're going to do? So when we do these things, here's a bonus idea for you. Take action, not notes. One of the things that we do when we do these things, we find people can be divided into 3 groups. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, those that ask what happened as it all just goes flying by. Access the slides, download the toolkits, have a go at it. Hope all's well with you. Thanks very much. Have a great day, and missing you already.